Sorry, I was on mute. But hi, my name's Alexis. I just was thanking you for tuning in to my Pathway to Happiness presentation, where I like to call it a masterclass on mindfulness, because I'm really digging into more clarity on mindfulness versus meditation. So I'm gonna start sharing that here with you. And I was inspired here, just a little bit about myself, a little background. That's what started me on my path. After running away from my emotions, wanting to bounce back after trauma and hurt and pain in my life, I had a breaking point where I was like, I just want to be happy. I don't know what that is. What is it? How do I get there? And here we are. And it's still a path that I'm following, and I'm embracing my happiness every day where I can find it so that it can grow. And I want to help people find out what happiness is for them as well. So thank you. I'm just gonna stop sharing my face because I noticed a really big lag, so I don't know how that'll show up on your video side, but my voice will still be here with you throughout the entire time. I just want to jump right into, because it's a lot of information and I want to keep the discussion going. Was there something in this presentation that you really loved and you want to keep exploring the idea of? Let me know, and let's do it. Let's have, little powwow talks. Let's have an activity. I can bring more education that I've learned, that I love to share what I learned. Like, I just love to have my mind blown, and then I like to blow other people's minds with such simple knowledge that has always been there. Just a state of wanting to hear it and being willing to hear new ideas. So thank you. So I decided to stick with this theme of a Buddhist community of monks and nuns. It's usually called like a sangha. Like, we may know them as being monasteries, and that could very well be just what it is. On my side, maybe I could do some more research. Is that just what is happening in the monasteries? Are they creating what's called a sangha? This collective group of people who are focusing on one goal, which is spiritual evolvement, and not just of themselves, but of each other and the world at whole. Cultivating that. The vibe I get from what I've learned and witnessed with a lot of these like Buddhist monasteries is compassion is the message. Monasteries are all about love and forgiveness and embracing that compassion and magnifying that so that they can share that concept. And I'm going to explain a little bit more on that. And that's my goal here, is I want to create a safe and sacred container, a space where we are brave enough, courageous to dive within ourselves and support each other in our own diving, and maybe even collectively come together like, hey, like, we all share the same passion of being happy and seeing other people happy. So let's change the world, so to say. Like, I love to go to these happy utopian thoughts of like peace, love, heaven on earth, happiness. And that starts to become true if we want it to. If we, start to impact that wave and grow our clan, our sangha, bigger and bigger and bigger. Before we know, we've got a whole chunk of our world that we're experiencing that is legit a heaven on earth, even if some people's aren't, and that's okay. but we can have that choose to be our personal experience. And the phenomena of how this is really happening, like how I can be living a heaven on earth, and someone else can be living in hell currently right now, is totally real. And we have a choice. Sometimes it may not feel like we have that choice, like, no, my life's a living hell. And it's just one circumstance after another, one trauma after another, one slip up after another. If that's your reality, which honestly mine was, and I can still see chaos around me a lot, but there is a beauty in a choice. And sometimes, this happens because when you find yourself, or if that you're living in hell, look around. Our environments affect us, like our community we're living in. So this is your state, your country, your local neighborhood, the street you're living on, the places that you're frequenting, like where are you going when you walk out your house, where are you working at, what's the community of your workplace, who are the friends that you're hanging it out with, who are the people who are commonly influencing, especially, again, we don't sorry, I had to pause there because I believe that we chose our family members. That can be tough for people to accept if they don't love their family or who their parents were. But that's a whole nother topic for another story. I'm just going to put a pin as I do feel that we chose our birth parents for the experience that and the path that they will set us up for. And if that is unfortunately to maybe be in a living hell, honestly, all humans experience some form of trauma. And I feel like as humans, we're here to develop and overcome that. And it's really such a beautiful teacher. I mean, we can achieve greater, deeper awarenesses without suffering. But for some reason, I think we're kind of stubborn to the point where sometimes it takes something traumatic to open people's eyes. So that may be why your life's a living hell, because maybe you wouldn't have otherwise made the choice to find heaven on earth if you didn't live through hell first. You have to know the opposite of what it is that you want. You have to be like, okay, yeah, I've been broke, poor, nowhere to sleep at night, so I can truly appreciate what it's like to have a bed to sleep in. Like you wouldn't know that if you've always had a bed to sleep in. You wouldn't know what it's like to sleep on a cold, hard ground. So don't want to stick too much on that thought, but that type of settings, like these types of places we find ourselves in, impact us deeply. And when we're living in an unhealthy environment, that negative thinking, the speaking we're doing or hearing, and the actions in our environment influence us. And when we're constantly in a bad environment, we will eventually fall sick of mind and sick of body. So if we want to be healthy humans, we have to determine, well, what is a healthy environment? And how do we maintain this? And again, returning back to my reasoning for all of this is, and even in my private sessions, I love to just create a space where it's okay and it's safe to be authentic, to be vulnerable. And I want this like-minded community to feel that here. If you have nowhere else, if your home is hell, work is hell, the people you have no choice at, they're just there, are hell. Let our Sangha be that one place of peace, and I promise you, that's all you need. You just need that form of inclusiveness and support in one place, and it will literally overtake all of them. You will slowly, if not all at once, surely see your home become more peaceful, your work become more peaceful. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps because I think of, I don't want to get it wrong, but this Chinese proverb that I've always loved, and I heard it again recently, of When there is peace within the heart, you have peace within your home. And when there's peace within the home, there's peace within, I'm going to maybe jump some and go peace within the nation. And when there's peace within your nation, there's peace around the world. And it all can start with one area. Obviously, it goes the other way around. If we have peace in our world, of course your home and all of those are going to be peaceful by default. But it can start anywhere. Anywhere can affect that. So it's really inspiring, and I felt those truth bumps all over my body. So here we are. Now, one other little piece real quick on the environment here and what negative toxic environments can do is, honestly, they're created and nourished by ignorance. Just not being knowledgeable or willing to open your viewpoint. Again, if nope, life's a living hell, it'll always be awful, then yeah, okay, that's true. That will always be your experience. It can be very true. But if you're willing to just be open to other perspectives, and when a community can sit together and inspire each other and have a daily practice and you have a daily ritual with friends in a society, clarity and insight and understanding will appear. It's just a natural result, like cause and effect, that's what happens. And as another cause and effect of all those lovely things of having insight, love and compassion, which again, these Buddhist communities are doing. They're cultivating love and compassion by having the recipe for a group of people on one purpose with a question in mind. What is happiness? What is love? How can we connect? And this will obviously improve everyone's state of health, yourselves and your neighbors, your family will feel it. Everyone around you will ripple through them, and it's amazing. So, to our lovely buzzwords that you may have heard many, many times, especially nowadays, is mindfulness and meditation. What are they? Are they one and the same? So, you may have an idea of what meditation is and what it looks like. And obviously, I think we all can maybe agree that when people are meditating and we hear people are meditating, they're trying to arrive at inner peace, understanding, tune in, tap into their intuition. And when you are in that state and you're doing that, typically three things come out of that: mindfulness, concentration, and insight. And when your mind is so full of something that nothing else is there but whatever you're focused on, it really helps you to become aware of what's happening right now. In our bodies and our minds and our environment, you become aware because there's always so much happening. And mindfulness and awareness are literally interchangeable words. Like, if you don't get the word mindful, be aware. Have awareness is literally, when you hear that word, it's mindfulness. To touch a little bit on right mindfulness, like you see on your screen, it is a goal that being in this group right now, this like educational presentation I have here for you, is to have you understand what right mindfulness is and our goal that we're going to achieve by the time you finish this. By the time you listen to that meditation, you will experience right mindfulness, and it's a practice that you can now cultivate. And again, consistently doing that sets you up with this groundwork and this solidity to help you become more aware in life, to recognize your happiness, to embrace your suffering and pain, but then transform it bit by bit to literally transform your living hell to heaven on earth. It's possible. And that's what we're going to achieve here. So again, let's dive into right mindfulness. And I get that wording from a limb of the 8-path fold in yoga. I was about to say Buddhist, but like more so Hindu form of enlightenment. One of those paths that you follow, it's like kind of, like right thought, right mind. It's not like right or wrong necessarily. It's just like the highest way of thinking that you can be, like where you're so fully engaged that you're not absorbed in the negative think train. So I'll just leave it on that. If we have maybe needing more clarification, I'm more than happy to talk about what is this right. What is right mindfulness? How do I do it right? And like I was saying, our body is present. Like there's literally so much happening all at once. Like even in the environment I'm in right now, I've got some background music. There's some stuff happening outside. The kids were playing, so honestly my space is, there's toys everywhere. But I couldn't tell you what every single toy was on the floor. You know what I mean? There's literally so much happening around me. I can't be aware of everything. I just can't. But my body and the witness in me is. And we can choose what we want to hone in on and focus my attention on. And that's what mindfulness is. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have my mind so full of this music that's playing in the background. Like I'm talking to you guys, obviously I'm multitasking, but if that were my object, that's what I would choose, is to listen and feel this music and, in a sense, tunnel vision and knock everything else out of the way. And when we do something like that, we're concentrating, it's a breeding ground for insight, for the aha, the light bulb moments. Again, it helps us ground us, like, of what's happening in this moment. I obviously really like to be mindful of my body or just the environment, like literally just like I'll tap into my senses, like, okay, I'm going to be mindful of everything I hear for the next 10 minutes, or I'm going to be very mindful of every single thing I smell. So obviously my other senses are working. They're just doing that and recording information, but I'm so in tune with everything I'm smelling, and I don't want to say judging or analyzing, but maybe like if something catches my eye even more, I start to explore that. It's like journeys that you can take every time you're concentrating on a certain topic. And again, obviously concentration is such an intense focus, breeding ground for insight, and that insight is what transforms. It's what gives us the capacity to like break those chains, free us from fear, anxiety, depression, just whatever it is. Like, wow, I smelt that and it made me angry. Why did it make me angry? It made me angry because someone I know that used to hurt me smelled like that. But they're not here anymore and they're not hurting me. So just a mini example, obviously it could be this easy, but sometimes it isn't also. Okay, I choose not to, I let go, I forgive them, whatever. They don't have power over me anymore. When I smell that smell, I don't want to have that association. I free myself. So now when I smell it, I'm reprogramming how I act. I'm neutral, or I'm happy, but I'm no longer angry. Because obviously, neutrality is a much higher state of vibration and like well-being than anger. Anger kills. Honestly, anger breeds cancer. Anger breeds a lot of dis-ease in the body. So we definitely want to aim for neutrality or higher if we're feeling anger. Not to say anger is wrong to feel, because we will always get triggered with anger, but you could probably lessen those triggers if you explore the story behind that anger trigger. Because your feelings are like your inner detector. Yeah. So again, right mind, right, is when we're like I said before, actually experiencing, you're so absorbed into it that like nothing else matters for that bit of time. That's all I have to say with that. I hope you grasp more of what I mean by right mindfulness now. And we were actually already talking about this with the last slide. I mean, there's 4 fields, I guess, to say, but like literally the topics of which you could be mindful on are vast. And I say 4 fields because, like, honestly, many of those things can just fall into these categories. You know, mindfulness is of something. What are you mindful of? What are you aware of? You know, we be aware of our body, our feelings. We talked a lot about the feelings when I'm discussing anger. You know, our mind, the thoughts. And when I say the objects of our mind, I equate this to as like our physical reality, because again, I do share the belief firmly that our outer world is literally only an inner reflection of what's going on inside. So the objects of your mind are like a projection screen popping out of your eyeballs, and that's what you're seeing and living in right now. So it's all really all just tied back to the mind, body, and feelings. Mind, body, spirit. I do want to stay on this slide just a little bit, just to kind of like give more benefits. You know, we all know mindfulness and meditation are really good for us. I'm sure you've heard that. Hence why, you know, it's a buzzword nowadays and in the health community. You know, because when we're mindful of our body, again, you return to your body. You're inspired to take care of your body, to relax your body, and relaxation and rest allows you to digest life, to assimilate what's happening, to process it. You know, it's good for stress in the body and the nervous system to help you bounce back quickly. And that's what resting does. You know, it activates your inner healer. So you're healing faster. It also keeps you from just like wanting to consume toxins, being aware of the toxicity around you, experiencing freedom, better quality of life. Obviously, I think like I did touch on that again already. Like when we practice our mindfulness of feelings, sometimes I feel like that's like the biggest healing that can occur, because our emotions tend to kind of be the cause of a lot of the symptoms we experience with major illnesses. You could probably tie that symptom to an emotion, and that emotion to an event. Traumatic event sometimes will eventually obviously cause pain. It causes pain in the moment, it's still causing pain in your body as a symptom or a disease, dis-ease. So obviously transforming that brings ultimate healing of the heart, of the mind, and the body. So to build on that again, kind of keeping on that topic then with the emotions, you know, when we have these like deep, anywhere from desires, like that inner stirring that you were born with, you know, your purpose in life, your fears, negative mental formations, sometimes these get like really repressed and stuck deep down inside of our unconscious. And one, when it's there, I really love, you know, we've all heard of like planting these seeds of thoughts and seeds of ideas. But those ones that we just stuff down there, we repress, they're like a starved seed that's not getting oxygen or water to transform into something beautiful. You could say it's getting fed. It's definitely being fed by fear. It's being fed by ignorance. You know, because feelings are meant to be felt. You know, part 2 of this is like a lot of times this is these internal knots, these tangled knots within ourselves tend to form when we were really young. Again, or from a very traumatic experience. And again, not to point the blame finger, because like I said, with the belief that we chose our life and we are responsible for our life, there is no one to blame. There is just understanding to be gained. But from the moment you were in the womb to 7 years old, you're a sponge and you're observing and you're learning what to do when things happen, when you're interacting with an outside world. And sometimes we're taught to maybe be afraid. You know, I've definitely learned my son understand fear. Like he would make facial expressions, right? Happy, sad. When he would hear the word fear or scared, you know, he likes monsters, so he would be the one doing the fear, like, you know. And now that he's watched us be afraid and what causes people to act like that, I notice when I ask him that same facial expression, he actually does look scared. So he was taught that. He was brave. But now I see fear entering. That was really interesting for me when I experienced that, because it's not right or wrong what I taught him. Because, I mean, it just is. It may serve happiness in his life or it may not. That's not my spot anymore. But I have taught him, you know, because he chose me. He chose me. I chose him, and here we are. But we're taught this. And repression is mostly what I'm thinking of with these tangled knots, because like if you act like you're not angry, or you always shake it off and you don't pay attention to it because it's not appropriate to be sad or it's not appropriate to be angry. I experience these many times myself, hence why I don't like to hold it in anymore. I feel my emotions, but a breakdown, a mental, emotional, spiritual breakdowns occur. Midlife crisis is literally the definition of this. Is so much pent up repression that you act crazy. You just let loose. It's literally a volcano is what comes to my mind. It's an eruption because it needs to move. It can't stay stagnant in the body. So obviously, with being mindful, and a lot of the deep point of this is to unravel those knots, is to like loosen them up. Because again, to touch kind of like what you see on your slide here, I know I wasn't reading it, but like it affects us, our behavior. It really does. And a lot of times it's when we're not being aware. I used an example of walking. You know, I'm walking home, but I start thinking about what I'm going to do when I get home. My mind has left my body. I'm not being aware of my walking. So my mind is engaged with thinking about what I'm going to do when I get home. However, my body, it's walking. It's not traveling with me. It's in that moment, and it's not just going to stop. I'm not going to stop where I'm standing to think. We do things while we think. So my body keeps going on autopilot. And it's that autopilot where the unconscious, you know, the subconscious takes over, and it's taking over on the mindset of what it's been programmed to do. And a lot of that programming comes from 0 to 7. You learn to walk during that time frame. So obviously your body knows how to walk without you being there. So it'll walk. That's the concept I'm trying to grasp here. It's like, if you have a lot of that repression, or maybe some behaviors you don't like about yourself, or you do like about yourself, like who you are on autopilot is not being consciously aware. You're not choosing, you're just doing. You're not being, you're doing. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say here for now, without going on a whole hour tangent, because I can talk about this for days. Now the exciting stuff I started with. So again, this topic also gets my fire going with happiness, hope, and joy, because it's incredible. the type of science right now that's proving this. And again, we don't always get to see it in mainstream media just because obviously the power of the people can overthrow a lot, right? The power of united minds. United nation becomes a united mind. There goes the insight in my brain. But I really love the image on this picture because it is literally what's happening in this web of life, and how we say that we're all connected. When you hear that phrase, this is kind of an image of what it may look like if we were to grasp that. And it's a two-way communication form. So the collective consciousness is that brain that you see in the middle there, this universal mind. There are many names for it: the all, God, higher self. The list is endless, honestly. We're gonna call it collective consciousness right now, the field. Now, I'll use an example. I'm the person in the lower right hand corner, that blue figure, and like the song Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, I decided that I no longer wanted to party and mask my pain with drugs and alcohol and partying all the time. And, yeah, I want to be happy. I want to change my life, and I just want to be happy. There we go. And obviously I want the world to be happier. Like, why is this happening? So I decided to make a change, and bam, I did. Now, like that link you see there, I kind of like uploading to the cloud, right? I upload my experience and my insight and my awareness and my transformation up to this cloud, and instantly it's sent to everyone. Everyone gets a little bit of that. Hence why this topic we're having is happening, because so many people have paved this way that I felt that, and I found that path that I wanted to follow, and hence why you're here. You felt that collective pull from me, from others, and here we are. Here we are together. We all felt the signal, like a bat signal in the air. Here I am. I felt that message. I liked it, and I'm here for more of it. Let's create more of that. And it goes the other way around. Like, I don't watch the news. I'm not really interested in like feeding into the fear and a lot of what's happening in our world, because our world is changing obviously right now, and it can be really scary to change. Like, what if the way that we have been living life all changes? A lot of the political things going on, and like a brink of a World War III is really intense, and we feel it on a collection. Not just us, but I think a little bit of the whole world has this fear in them right now. And again, that brain sending that message to us, we all feel that. I don't read it, but I feel it. I see it, I feel it in my bones, the type of fear that's happening out there right now. And it is powerful, but I'll tell you what, love, compassion, and openness is more powerful than fear on that vibration scale. Literally, like, it can be proven that it is stronger. So the stronger will win. The underdog is the love and compassion. Fear has just been reigning control for a very long time, and that's what's changing. The fear is what's changing. So back to, again, this purpose of the Singha. I am here to affect change, and I'm glad that you are here to join me in that, because I truly do need your help. I couldn't do it without you. And change, everything arises within the mind. Again, turning back to Michael Jackson, if you want to see change in the world, you got to look at the man in the mirror. You got to start with yourself. We got to start within our group. We got to make a change in our world, within our community, before we hit our nation, before we hit the world. Got to make these changes in small groups. Because that mind, again, there's a reason why I'm equating this God force to collective consciousness, because like the stories of God we hear, it's a creator, right? Now we are co-creating. here, what we're co-creating, because the mind, God is like a powerful, all-seeing mind, right? It knows everything, it sees everything, it has created everything, and we are a piece of that. We can tap into a piece of that, because you see that picture, we have a direct line to that. That's our connection to spirit, right? And that spiritual energy, that mind energy, is a powerhouse. It produces energy that creates real physical matter. And when we come together, we pray together, we meditate together, we just talk together, we like have these aha moments together. Like the picture you see, rather than just my single upload, it's a stronger, more effective, more magnified event that's being uploaded to the cloud. You know, like you know how people like pray for my family. You know, the more prayers, the better, and miracles happen. I heard this story. I mean, obviously I was really young, but like I was listening to a speaker talk about how obviously not what happened with 9/11 shook the world, shook our country really hard. And afterwards, like because people were so sad and so, you know, after natural disasters, so to say, doesn't even have to be 9/11, just after natural disasters, you see the country, you see the world unite together to raise money to help. You know, getting emotional because it's like really powerful, and that's like what we're tapping into, you know, like the support for Hurricane Katrina, the support for Paris, for Thailand, you know, like we all as humans, and we connect and we all feel pain at the same time, and sadness, and this deep love to reach out and just hug each other. And we do that in different ways. We support with money, we support with ourselves, we just support with our prayers. But it literally is amazing what groups do when they unite together like that. So that's the energy I want to create on this level, is I want us to like be a force to reckon with, be a wave of love. That's actually like I changed my business name to Waves of Love, but it was Waves of Love because I literally just want everything I'm producing, the groups I'm working with, to just shoot out so many waves after wave after wave after wave of love, accepting, understanding out into the world. So again, I just thank you guys for even just being here and listening and wanting to participate, because like I said, I can make a change, but not as strong as if I have with you guys. Like it's all so necessary to have the numbers of people fighting together, fighting an army of love. Oh, okay, I'll move on. Sorry, I get all into that. Now here, just since I have taken up so much of your time, you know, we don't have to, there are definitely, and again, if this is one of those topics like, hey, I want to see that science behind it. Like, what are these peer-reviewed journals? What is, you know, show me the proof. Got it. Got files worth. I am more than happy to share all of that. But with this slide, really, I just want, what makes me excited, because I'm definitely like a spiritual person, but I also do like the science to back it, because it's like a clarity, you know, like, yeah, affirmation, like I knew it was true, it is true. You know, it feels good to have faith and truth, or facts, I don't know, faith and facts together. It builds a really solid foundation. So there is nowadays, because this information is thousands of years old, but nowadays we're starting to have the technology to detect some of these things. And, you know, people, scientists and doctors are interested, so they're doing studies and research, and they're getting phenomenal results. And before we go forward with the meditation I want to experience, is that there's a lot of science backing behind that. When we are mindful and focused on a phrase, a word, a mantra, you know, any distracting thoughts are poof, gone, sideswept. You know, it's an instant raise in your personal vibration, like it elevates you. You know, words are magic, and if you choose a really magical, powerful word, like love, peace, happiness. It brings you up there, and it can punch fear in the face. It can punch those things out of the way. So right now, here, before we go forward, choose a word. I shared my word as sukha. It's a Sanskrit word. I wouldn't say it has a direct translation. I guess ease is what the word would be, but it's like a state of peace where, I'm cool, I'm mellow, I'm at ease, I am at peace, I am happy, it's really what my pathway to happiness is, having sukha. Like, to me, happy means being at ease. Like, I'm not stressed, I'm mellow, I'm happy. So find a word. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your challenge. There's your challenge for 2020. What is your mantra for 2020? You can add a whole book of different mantras, but right now let's pick one word. One word. Now, to get into some more of my passion, and we'll get into this meditation soon, is on my pathway to happiness. The first thing that popped into my mind was yoga. I was like, you know what? I heard that yoga heals. I love to move my body. I just was like, hey, I'm going to try this yoga thing. Like, instead of partying this weekend, I'm going to pull out a mat and I'm going to stretch. I'm going to find a yoga video and I'm just going to do it and try to practice it and see if it does what they say it does. Like, let's see if it heals me. And when I did start doing that, again, another thing that I've heard about and was slightly interested in was the chakras. Man, it's been my healing. Hence why, like, if it's for you, I'd love to show you a pathway. And stick with me if you like my point of view on it, or if you just want to hang out with me and do it the way I do it. But if you don't, there's literally, like, chakras are, many cultures around the world have these different energy body systems, and you'll find what is your calling. I love them because it just is us. It's a part of my body. And when I did yoga, I got in touch with my body and I got in touch with my energy centers, which are the chakras. Now, again, on the screen here, my definition, and a definition I've learned, is that energy is information that vibrates. Now, these chakras are the energy centers within our body that are like those, like, big portal ways of how this energy is passing back and forth. Kind of like with that mind, it's the two-way communication that's happening with our inner and our outer world. And there are different energy centers because there's different types of information coming at you. Kind of like when, sound is a different type of information versus a visual information. Like, you're watching what I'm showing you, but you're also listening to me. So one point of information is transferring through your eyes and the other information is traveling through your ears. So this is kind of how your chakra centers are working. Each center, although it's all working together, is picking up different, what I'm saying here at the end is different rates that are affecting us. So that felt good. That was probably, like, maybe the best way I've described how chakras work, to be honest. I'm glad I'm recording this because that was nice. I hope you got it. Now, tying in, like, this is, again, if you guys do hang out with me, and I appreciate, like, you being here this long if you still are here. On my pathway to happiness, I'd love to take you on a pathway through the chakras. And this year, we're going to kick it off with the lower. We're going to start at that root chakra. And obviously, I want to hit all 7. We're going to hit all of them. eventually. But focusing on the lower chakras, I feel like are a really good starting point because they're very physical. You know, they affect a lot of our physical reality. You know, once we hit the heart, we really start to like, you know, right now I'm on a pathway to the heart. We're gonna get to the heart center where things are a game changer. We go from physical to spiritual. But right now, let's connect on a physical realm because we're physically here, and I think it's a lot more easier if maybe you're not so grounded and connected with your spiritual side to start. I obviously started at the bottom, but I also bounced, like I went like root and my third eye. I went like my speaking my truth and healing my sex center. You know what I mean? Like I jumped around a lot. I'm always healing my heart. I'm always opening my heart. So it's all super interconnected. But I'm going to have educational courses on each one. And again, groundwork coming February 2020. We're going to dive deep and ground ourselves. So I'm really excited about that. And I hope if you're liking this and you want to learn more, that's the place to do it. We're going to keep talking about our sync hub. We're going to keep talking about mindfulness. We're going to talk about prayer. We're going to talk about energy and how to connect with that energy. We're going to do lots of fun activities. So I'm really excited. I'm throwing my passions in there, the things that ignite my fire and are really cool. And I just like to share it because I think it's fun. Now, chakras, Sanskrit word, wheels of light is a translation to that. Again, like with Sanskrit, English, I feel like translation can be difficult because like we're trying to take concepts and put them into English where it's at we can digest. So visualize a pinwheel, you know, like when you blow it and it's whirling around in the air, that it's a movement energy center. So it's like a spinning wheel of light, spinning wheel of energy. Like the screen is saying, this prana, this chi that I'm talking about, it's spirit, it's life itself, it's information that goes in and out of these. It's what translates throughout our body. It's like that glue that sticks us all together, that sticks life together. And like it's saying that it's not only a form of communication, but it's a form of transformation as well too. So like you can mess around in that whirlpool of good stuff and neutralize things, release things, heal things. That's why I like it. You know, they're healing centers too if we need to tap into them. Just another little thing on this one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna go back real quick. Another thing with chakras is the goal is to have them open and interconnectedly working together. Because if you have only one chakra open or a few of them open and some are closed, you will experience dis-ease and discomfort in your world or something. You know how like, oh, I just want a balanced life, like everything else is good in my life except work. Well, one of your chakras are probably closed, one of those lower ones. You know, so obviously the goal to be a well-balanced human is to have these all open and functioning, and sometimes they're closed, sometimes they're open, sometimes they're spinning the wrong direction, sometimes they're spilling energy out, or you're acting like an energy vampire and you're sucking everyone else's energy. You know, we can go in a lot more into that in groundwork and chakra education, but the goal is we want them open and balanced and working. So I just want to quickly touch too on each of the three lower chakras that will soon be coming in further education programs I'm dropping. And right now, groundwork is what's happening. So this root chakra, the Muladhara. This is all about our grounding, our security. We feel our sense of tribe. Hence, right now I'm doing my healing the self because the Sangha that we have is so root chakra energy, to have a tribe of people, you know, your ancestor line, this primal energy of people coming together and this connection that we have to earth and to each other. And we need connection to survive. So this is exciting. We are already doing root chakra healing by being here together right now, by communicating together, by inspiring one another. So it's really exciting. I hope you join me on groundwork. It's going to be so much fun. Now, the sacral chakra, this is like where our passion lies, like your desires, like when you want things, it's your sacral chakra that's activated. This is our womb, women. This is where we carry our babies, where we create. It's our intimacy and emotions. This is our sex center. And if you do have a lot of like sexual trauma, or honestly, like these two chakras, the sacral and the root chakra, if people who are dealing with severe depression and suicidal thoughts, these are the chakras that are hurting, that are closed, that are damaged. And honestly, again, like with a lot, just opening up here with you guys, with a lot of my trauma and my passion here is this chakra is really near and dear to my heart, because as women, again, tying back to our root chakra, throughout history and time, I feel our sex centers have really been abused, or just women being shamed. Like, I just look at that image too behind there, and it really hits me, because I love being a woman, and there are definitely times where I didn't feel that way, because obviously we're sex symbols, we're degraded. I won't get on another tangent here, the feminist in me starts to ignite, but this is a center that I did a lot of work healing. Like when I started my healing journey, that sacral and root chakra, I've spent a lot of time, and honestly, coming back to my practice, I'm still here. I'm not done. I'm continuing to heal this center, and I'm hoping you feel safe to where we can heal. If you're hurting here too, we can heal together. So I can't wait till we get intimate with this program. This one is actually what I'm hoping to drop middle of 2020. Start talk about sex, baby. So move on. And then after that, we have our power, our gut. Our digestive system, like that inner fire that we have. This is like the sun. This is where we start to shine bright, our self-esteem. And again, just thinking about that journey in itself, like getting grounded, having a tribe, being creative, understanding your passions and your desires, and then having the power to take action and to be strong and have your inner light just shine so bright. That's what opens your heart. These are like the requirements to knocking at that heart's door, like, yeah, now I'm ready to open my heart and share that love. So that's why I'm approaching it that way. I'm really excited. So 2020, potentially 2021, let's get grounded, let's get intimate, and let's embrace our power. That felt good. Real quick on this here. So like, again, for example, in the program I'm dropping, this is what we're doing. We're like balancing our chakras. We're opening them. I'm teaching you different ways to activate them. We can do clearing. We're going to do some artwork. We're going to do some self-exploration. That's why I love them. Like, you can personally, like, obviously I like to research online, I like to read books, and there's so much information and things that affect that. Like, literally just wearing the color red, you're balancing your root chakra, you're tuning into it. Thinking of the color red does that. There's sounds, it's really interesting that there's so, like, chakras is such a broad subject. Like, you can really get in depth on what just draws you to it. And that's why I like it, because if you also are interested, You may not follow the same path I do with chakras, but maybe there's something out there that does catch your eyes when it pertains to them. Like, it's a part of your anatomy, your energetic anatomy, so it's a part of you. Why not love a part of you? You know, get to know your chakra centers. What makes you tick in that department? So exciting. Now, again, this pathway to happiness is leading to the pathway to the heart. And like you see on your screen here, what I am creating in series is this mindfulness meditation course with a group of like-minded people. You know, we're grounding, we're getting clarity, we're healing, we're self-empowered. I'm gonna skip a little bit through like this. I want to show you it, what's to come, but honestly, the information on it, since I'm not doing it all in one swing, groundwork's really gonna be more so like a month-long course where we dive in together as a group, but you also get one-on-one work with me to just start that education and exploration of yourself. And I'm almost always sure you will get healing from that as well. Like, that's also what's beautiful, like the blossoming process. You know, being in your closed little cocoon of, I knew nothing of this, I didn't even want to look in the mirror and face my issues, to popping out of there, and now you're a beautiful butterfly and you're flying and you're courageous, and I hope you're inspired and that's what you get out of it. I just want to share what I know like this. I just want to talk. I want to, obviously I'm more like talking at you, so I want a lot more back and forth talking with you, because I love the discussions, because I love to get inspired. Like, I feel like, yeah, I'll teach people some new things, but then I'm always being taught newer things, and I love these types of conversations. I love deep talks. So I just thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I don't know about you, but I'm ready to meditate. I think I'm gonna split this here. So obviously we're gonna anchor this in. I'm gonna not add the meditation to this recording. I'm gonna do that separate. So if you really love it, you can save it, download it, come back to it, and like re-listen over and over. I think that would be really fun. But let us anchor this good feeling. And we're gonna do that really simple right now, not with an in-depth meditation, but really quick mindfulness exercise, and that's how fast and easy it is. So let's let this all digest. I want you to come back to your mantra that you chose. We're going to be mindful of that right now, and mindful of our breath and body. I want you to take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. Exhale it all out through your mouth. Just literally letting the day go this far. Taking a big deep breath in through your nose. Exhaling and letting go of what we all just talked about. Taking a nice big deep breath in. Think about your mantra. Happiness, peace. Breathe in. I want you to close your eyes and just do that with me a couple times. Let's just breathe together. When you breathe in through your nose, literally feel your stomach expand, like a balloon is in there. When you exhale, literally like let all that air out of the balloons to where your stomach just sucks all the way in and it's all out. Really let it all out. Let's do 3 more of those together in silence. Challenge you to Don't let this feeling go here. You open your eyes, hold on to your mantra, and just let it carry you into the rest of this day, to the rest of this week. You know, I'm recording this right now on our first full moon of 2020. Let go of all of that stress from before. Let it all go and just ground yourself in your mantra. And here is your year. Your year where that word that you chose is your embodiment. You are that. It's not going to happen like a couple months from now, the end of this year. You are that now. You have that now. And thank that. Like, I'm so thankful for you guys being here. I'm honored to share this information. I thank you for listening to it, and I hope it resonates with you and just ignites your inner happiness.